You're listening to The Jeff Crilley Show on Talk Radio 1190.
Welcome back to The Jeff Crilley Show. I love entrepreneurs. I am one, and I'm always fascinated with how ideas are born. And so my next guest is Heath Barnett. He has a company called Partake Golf. And I met him at an evening event a couple weeks ago, and we just started talking. I said, you got to come on my show. So tell everybody, Heath, what you've created.
Well, first off, thank you for getting me on the show today and inviting me. But so what Partake is essentially is we've created the technology to allow golf courses to double food and beverage sales, and we've done this by creating an opportunity for them to offer their services 5 times as much than they currently do.
How was this idea born?
So this idea was actually born on the golf course. Me and a couple of friends were playing around in golf. We could not get any service whatsoever. And of course, with me complaining, I decided to go home and do some research and see if there was any technology out there. And after doing some research, we realized that there was not any sufficient technology available. And so we decided to build it.
You were telling me that I guess the servers are still taking orders on paper, right?
It is an antiquated industry. A lot of technology around the actual game to make an actual player much better is there. But from a service perspective, it is still a very manual process.
So let's talk about it. Is it an app? What have you created?
So what it is, it's an actual end-to-end solution for the golf course. So it allows them to increase food and beverage sales, monitor service standards, and also improve customer retention. So from a customer standpoint, it's an application that you download. You select what golf course you're playing at, and you have access to all their food, beverage, and retail amenities. And then for the golf course on the back end is we've streamlined their entire fulfillment operations. From actually conducting the transaction, fulfilling the order, and also tracking the customer data so they can provide a better experience and market better towards their customers.
Okay, and so GPS is involved, is that right?
GPS is involved. So when you actually place an order, the beverage cart will actually be able to see exactly where you're at on the golf course, what your name is, what you've ordered, and how long you've actually been waiting on that order.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've increased communication between everybody. So the golf course has actual insight on their operations at all times.
This is fascinating to me because it seems like, golf courses at the end of the day, they're about making money. But if it's not efficient, you could really be losing out on a lot of business on that course, couldn't you?
Oh, 100%. You make a great point because food and beverage has always just kind of been an additional piece of the operation where it's actually used to be a cost center. And so what we've decided to do is create technology to turn it into a profit center for the golf industry.
And what percentages can you increase at golf courses food and beverage sales?
So our pilot customers actually have seen a 400% increase in transactional value. So the industry average is about $8.50. Our customers were seeing about a $45 average for their customers.
I know with any new technology, you're really trying to convince people that this is a thing. I'm sure that when they first started Uber, people were like, what? You can call drivers who are taking their personal vehicle? How's that going to work? What's been the reaction so far from both the golfers and the golf courses?
Well, from a golfer standpoint, they love it. A lot of customers, it's kind of funny that we've sat there and accepted it for so long. I mean, a lot of golf courses, you're still giving away your credit cards. And so golfers are loving it, especially because the industry is changing. The demographics changing and the demands of that demographic are changing. We're a society that we live in a one-click world now. People want instant gratification. They want to have access to what they want when they want it. So from a customer standpoint, we're solving a pain point that's been there for a long time.
How large is the market?
The market's large. The golf industry is a $70 billion industry. There's about 24 million Americans who golf. National Golf Foundation actually just changed that number too because they're starting to incorporate the advancements that Topgolf has driven. And so that number is actually changing to about 30 million.
Wow.
Of that number, though, there's about 12.2 million golfers that are interested in the sport. So one of the biggest concerns right now in the industry is participation is back on the rise, but about 75% of golf courses, they're concerned about how do they retain those customers and attract a younger demographic.
And is there anything like this out there right now? Do you have competition?
We do have competition. Most of our competition has been very consumer focused. So they've been able to create an application to where a golfer can order on demand, but they haven't made it efficient. So they haven't really streamlined the operations on the back end for the golf course that we have. So what a lot of our competition has done is said, hey, I can increase, I can get you in $1 of incremental revenue, but golf courses were realizing it was costing them $2 for that extra dollar.
Okay, so I got to ask you how you make your money. Do you get a small sliver of every transaction?
We get a small sliver of every transaction. And
Wow.
so it's a value-based model. I didn't want to be a sunk cost for the golf industry just because they do operate a lot on budgets. So I wanted to give them something to where it's a simple plug and play. As long as we're increasing revenue and increasing value for you, that's how we're going to make our money as well.
How difficult is it for a golf course to implement it? If they're going from paper to suddenly apps and clicks, and is it a long rollout to make it live?
It's actually a really easy rollout. The reason is it's because it's a cloud-based solution, so it's iPad-based. Most of your food and beverage cart employees are younger generations, right? So they use their smartphone on a daily basis. Most of the employees we've talked to that have actually used Partake love it. And then from an integration standpoint is we've actually partnered up with a few of the large players in the point of sale industry. So for example, we're partnering up with EasyLinks right now, which will give us access to over 3,000 customers to where it's a simple plug and play. They create an account, they're ready to roll.
Well, to me, the elephant in the room is Club Corp. I mean, they're right here in Dallas. In 5 minutes, we could be over there. Have you talked to them yet?
So we did a lot of our pilot testing with some of the Club Corp facilities. We've gotten great feedback with them, and we are actually in talks with them.
Wow.
And so it's an ongoing process, but Club Corp is definitely in our near sight.
How exciting is this for you?
It's very exciting, and not just from creating the technology, but just from really making the decision to become an entrepreneur. It was one of the best decisions that I've ever made. It's you get to experience all the different emotions that you can experience on a daily basis.
Right.
But I think the big takeaway is just changing the way that an operation is conducted. To be able to walk away one day and say that we've streamlined and really brought technology to an industry, that's something that's very exciting.
And are you getting any pushback at all right now? I mean, do golf courses say, well, we've been doing it this way for 100 years? And
you find some of those courses that it's been this way for so long. I've been doing this for 20 years. But the problem is that the industry's changing. And so you have your proactive golf courses that see this technology as not just a nice to have, but a necessity. A lot of golf courses are seeing how essential it is for them to attract younger generations.
Well, I see you as being kind of like you got Blockbuster and you got Netflix, and Blockbuster kind of ignored Netflix, and now there is no Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
It seems inevitable to me.
It's a lot of, and kind of what you're referring to too, is like the legacy systems that are out there in the industry right now. And we've actually gotten very positive feedback from those companies, especially because a lot of them don't see us as a threat coming in trying to take them out, just because with the way that our technology is built, it's an open source network. So for us is, especially when you're dealing with a fragmented industry, trying to take an industry by storm by yourself, it's not efficient today and it's not very effective. And so for us is making sure that we're partnering with those more not outdated, but the more legacy systems that have been there for a while.
Seems to me that right now at this early stage in the life of your company, you've got a little bit of a chicken and an egg thing going on, because people could they download your app right now?
They could download our app right now.
Would there be any courses they could use it at?
So right now, there's not any courses that they could use it at. There is a course that we're active right now doing our beta testing in Austin. We're about to onboard a couple courses here in Dallas. But the reason it is live is because we actually do have a scorecard. So when they do select the golf course, they can still keep track of their score, live leaderboard with their friends. But we've also done it to where it feeds our data. So if a golf course does not offer our services, we actually give a way for customers to give us that feedback.
Wow.
So we can then take it to the golf course and show them that this is something that somebody wants.
I'm going to make a prediction right here. I think you're going to build this thing, and then somebody's going to write you a big, big check.
We'll see. We'll find out.
Okay, Mark
Time will
Cuban,
tell.
Mark Cuban, if you're listening. Okay, give us the website. How do people get a hold of you?
So the website is www.partakegolf.com. You can also find us on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Everything's under Partake Golf. So look us up, check us out, and download the application.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I will have to have you back again after you've made your first billion. Promise?
Definitely. I look forward to it.
Okay, good. Coming up next, Texas is really a hotbed for the alcoholic beverage business, and entrepreneurs will be joining us here in a minute to talk about how they are breaking into this multi-billion-dollar industry. That's next on the Jeff Crilley Show.
More of the Jeff Crilley Show coming up.